Prophet ﷺ being the last and final messenger, Allah sends prophets and messengers throughout times. He sent Adam, he sent Abraham, he sent Noah, he sent all of these prophets and messengers. And he sent scriptures with them. Now, the difference between the message of the Prophet ﷺ, Prophet Muhammad, and these messengers is that he was sent to everyone, while these previous messengers were sent to specific localities and people. And you see Jesus himself.
I was going to make a question about Prophet Muhammad. So, since he's like the last prophet, right? And that he is for everyone, but why is the Quran only in Arabic? Why wasn't others revealed in English or Spanish or like different languages? Or just in Arabic?
All right, okay. I'll answer the first one first, and then I'll answer this as well. So, for example, I was about to say, Jesus, for example, if you look what even what the Bible says in Matthew 15 and 24, you see Jesus says, I've been only sent to the lost sheep of the house of Israel. So he's only saying, sent to the lost sheep of the house of Israel. Moses is the same thing. He was sent to the Israelites, taking them out of Egypt to the promised land, etc. And Joshua took them into the promised land because Moses died before entering, etc. These prophets and messengers were sent to certain people, certain localities, etc. Had Abraham to Asian Mesopotamia at the time. They were sent to specific localities. The Prophet ﷺ was sent to everyone. Now, because the Prophet ﷺ was sent to everyone, his message was universal, and therefore Allah preserved it. Unlike the previous messages, Allah Azza wa Jal, He gave the preservation, for example, of the Torah and the Gospel to the priests and the rabbis. And then they failed that test, is that they changed the scriptures to gain worldly gain, to get money, this and that. They corrupted the scripts. But when it comes to the Quran, He preserved it because it will remain until the Day of Judgment. It will remain there as a message, as a guidance for the people until the Day of Judgment. Prophet Muhammad ﷺ is the last messenger because his message is universal and he is the closest last messenger to the Day of Judgment. That is the reason he is the last messenger. And the message is preserved, therefore there is no need to send someone else because the guidance is there. There was a need to send other messengers because the message got corrupted later on, or there was only to certain localities. So God sent another messenger to a different locality now. That was the need for more messengers in the past, and this need is no longer there. Now when it comes to the language of the Quran, Allah Azza wa Jal, in the beginning, He sent, as He says in Surah Ibrahim, He said that whenever He sends a messenger to His people, the initial people He will go to, He sent the messenger with the language of His people. So if Prophet Muhammad ﷺ will start his message, he needs to start somewhere, of course, and he needs to be born in some country. Assuming Prophet Muhammad ﷺ was born, in whichever country you want to say, he has to speak one language, right? He has to have a language, and he has to go to his people first before going to everyone else. So then he has to speak that language first, the initial language of his people, before this message goes to everyone else. So essentially, the Quran has to be in one language. Whatever that language is, it happened to be Arabic, could have been something else. Allah chose the Arabic language because of its eloquence and because of the richness of the meanings of the words of the Quran. There are very few words, but they're very eloquent and they can deliver a magnificent amount of meaning, a voluminous amount of meaning in just very few words. So Allah Azza wa Jal sent the Quran first in the language of the people, which is Arabic. That's why He says, وَمَا أَرْسَلْنَا, we do not send a messenger except to the tongue of His people. لِيُبَيِّنَ لَهُمْ, so you can explain to them first. And then the idea of translating or explaining the meaning or teaching the people is there for everyone else. So the Quran can be explained to anyone. The words of the meaning of the Quran can be translated. Or a person can learn a language and then speak it. Like, for example, English is not my first language, I'm not born in an English-speaking country, but I'm speaking English. I speak other languages as well. People can adopt and learn languages if they need to. And it still can be